Hey, hi guys, welcome to another Cardfight Vanguard Zero YouTube video. It's your boy J.J. Hi again. Now we're gonna be doing something a little bit different here. With Legion Era coming really close on the horizon, I think in about 7 more days, let's take a look on the 17 sets that took us as far as we could, and how much they impacted the meta, whether they were changing, or you could just don't touch them. Or it could have been a just don't touch meta. And I hope, if you guys don't agree with any of these, that's fine, put it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about these. So, first things first. So set 1, which is the Fighters Gacha, introduced us to CEO Amaterasu, introduced us to King of Knights, Alfred. Let's see what else. There was also some other pretty interesting cards too. It is the starting of the game, but how impactful was it? Of course, Overlord as well, and Asura Kaiser. But how impactful was it exactly? I think I wouldn't want to say meta changing. I would say kind of meta. It was alright. Of course, as a jump off point. As a jump off point, you can't put like meta changing, because like in the grand scheme of things, the set after that was a little bit, it's infinitely better. I would say kind of meta. I feel kind of meta fits here more than anything. Alright, so then we have Banquet of Divas. This is with CEO Amaterasu. This is with Perfect Riser, Riviere, Pacifica. But the most important 2 archetypes that came out in that set was Perfect Riser and Amaterasu, which I would say was tournament played the most of the season. Most of 2 seasons almost. So this, I would say this was meta changing, was meta defining. You had to kind of play around Perfect Riser, have to like make sure you have two interceptors as quickly as possible, as much as possible. I feel that this pushed the archetypes a whole lot. Okay, so then we have Demonic Invasion that introduced, what was in that archetype? I think Shadows was released. Shadows was released here in Demonic Invasion. Yeah, Shadows I think was released in this set too as well. Like Shadows being introduced into the meta was kinda alright, but they didn't really do anything until they got Phantom Blast Overlord. So I would have to say I would have to say okay, skippable? I think okay, but not a big dent. Yeah, okay, but not a big dent is where I put them. We had Dimensional Police as well, but those didn't really do that much either, sadly enough. Oh yeah, they came all in one set. Sorry, my brain is thinking of TCG. My brain is thinking of TCG. So I would say that actually brings that a whole lot lower. My brain was factoring in Shadows in this set, because that's when Shadows came out in the TCG too. Alright, so then that's skippable. Skippable. Yeah, so Pale Moon came out as well. No, I mean, yeah, it's skippable. Sorry, was not too impressed with it. It was a pretty medium set. Then we have Awakening of the Twin Blades. So that is with, that's this one. That is with MLB, Dote, and PBO. They became some of the big trios and stuff next to Tsukiyomi. Those were still defining the meta for a long time too. And even till this day, those archetypes are still ran. Some of these archetypes are still ran. Dote is still ran in most decks anyway. That's not been changed in a very long time. So this had a lot of longevity. So yes, meta changing. Definitely meta changing. So now we have the Asia Circuit banner. That is when Limit Break was just introduced. When we had Ezel, we have Leopold, we have Vermilion, Meta changing. Ezel is still using a whole lot of gold decks till this day. It still beats people. It still claps people out. So it still beats people out. Some of the other archetypes that was also introduced. Angels right now is currently not doing too hot in English. You do still have some people who still play both Great Nature and Angel Feather, but those are very few far between. Narukami as well, suffering a little bit. Ezel is still pretty good. Still pretty good. Alright, so then we have Cavalry of the Black Steel. That is with Spectral Duke. Spectral Duke, Bladewing Reggie, and Lukie. I would have to say kind of meta. I would put them kind of meta. They did okay. People played them because, yeah, it's Lukie, it's mommy. And plus they buffed her by, instead of making her 10k Vanguard, they made her 11k. Which was really, really nice to have as an addition. Sadly enough, Bladewing didn't really do much till later when he got buffed a couple sets after. So my brain is on the initial release of these archetypes. So my criteria, sorry enough. My criteria is these initial sets before the initial release of these sets. So whether or not these become buffed or nerfed after their release has, for me mentally, no founding on whatever. So like if they got buffed like a month later, for me I still feel like within that month that they were relevant. I felt that's the strength at what they were at that time. And Reggie didn't get any real good support or really good amount of play till like almost a month later when he got buffed. So then at that point it was, you know, he became very strong later in the later sets. And then Lukie got you still did play some of the like turtle combo, I guess. Yeah, maybe you did play a little bit of turtle with Pale Moon, but not that much being played. And of course you still had Spectral Duke, one of the very few restanding vanguards within Goals and Shadow Paladin that you could make a use of and punch your opponent for playing a little defensively and stuff like that. And PGs, we didn't get new PGs till like way later either. So still nice nonetheless. Alright then, let us see what else. Then we have, let's see, did I miss anything here? I think it's then Clash. It's Clash of Knights and Dragons, right? Did we miss anything before here? Not yet, right? No. Catastrophic Outbreak. No. Okay. Then we have Clash of Knights and Dragons. I would have to say Maelstrom. I have to say Maelstrom, I feel. I have to say Maelstrom. Yeah. No, wait, that's Blue Storm Armada. Yeah, that's Blue Storm Armada. Wait. Yeah, Blue Storm Armada was released before Clash of Knights and Dragons. So it's Blue Storm Armada first. This introduced us to Maelstrom. Okay. I would have to say kind of meta. Yeah, kind of meta. Kind of, like it's. I would have to put it higher here. This lower, then higher here. So kind of meta. Yeah, I would have to say there, and then Clash, a Glory for sure. Okay. And then we have, so we have Blue Storm, Clash, and then we have Triumph of Return of the King. So then we have Triumph, the Return of the King. So then that said, which is also our first Brick Ride set. Yeah, which was our first Brick Ride set, which also had Eradicators in it, which also had Liberators in it. Eradicators were very meta, very meta dependent. Very good matchups against a whole lot of the meta at the time. So I think these are good here. So you'll see there's like a lot of stuff that like changed and fluctuated through the meta and stuff, because we had like a whole bunch of win conditions around Brick Ride Blau, for example, and everything else that focused around that. Okay, and then we had Dazzling Divas. We had Jewel Knights that also became pretty relevant to the meta too as well. I would have to say they're kind of meta. They're kind of meta. They were kind of okay. I'll have to put them above Cavalry, above the first Fighters Gacha. So now actually, then I can reduce this to just being okay, but not a big dent. Because everybody was basically already, at the first gacha, everybody was kind of just waiting for the future stuff to come out anyway. Or at least like watch the anime enough to know like, hey, you know, bear through a couple of months of the first initial set and you'll be rewarded by playing some more stronger cards. So I would say like it was okay, but not a very big dent. Then we have Seal of Dragons, which gave us Steve. I would have to say that, like, then we got Seal Dragons as well. It was not a big dent, but way more important than that. Then we had Binding of the Brak Rings, the first Link Joker set for us. Meta changing? Kinda actually. It's the introduction of Link Jokers, and we have people who were waiting for Link Jokers for the longest of time. Oh gosh, that's actually also pretty difficult. We also got Revengers too. That became one of the best decks in the format for a while too as well. Yeah. So yeah, so meta defining. Then we have Divine Dragon Progression. Kind of. Wait. Yeah, Divine Dragon Progression. I would say kind of meta, no big dent. I would, like, on release, Novell decks were played. Novell is still played in some archetypes, even in Legion era. But as a card individually in itself, not the set that it came out in. And I would have to say it did okay, but not the biggest dent ever. It just made Kagura come on the map again. People played Kagura again for a bit. Became pretty okay-ish, but not like meta changing. Like everything else can beat. Could beat Novell and still can beat Novell. It's not. It was impressive, but not. Not the best. Not the best for sure. So then we have the Catastrophic Outbreak, which came in the anniversary of the game. So 1 year in so far. 1 year into the game. And we have Catastrophic Outbreak. That we got Chaos Breaker, Die Kaiser. We got the Blau Kruger support. We got Blau support. We got Blue Storm stuff. And we got Angel Feather Revival. I would have to say, this is hard for me to decide. I would say it's not meta defining, because Revenger was still relevant at a time. A lot of the archetypes that came before it was still relevant at a time, because like Divine Dragon Progression didn't really change or shift the meta that much. We got Chaos Breaker, which became the better of the Link Joker variants, for sure. Blau became a monster into a whole lot of other archetypes. We got Daikaiser, which gave second wind to Dimensional Police. But it more or less just helped a lot of older archetypes just become a bit more relevant in the meta rather than change the meta entirely, because what was good then was still pretty good and still played. Prevention was still pretty good. If you played a little bit of Link Joker, it was still pretty alright. Eradicator had a bit of a dip because a lot of people were focused playing more on stuff like Gold Paladins and stuff like that, and almost every set in between then had a little bit of Gold Paladin support too. So it's like, it's not, it didn't do that much, you know what I mean? Then we have Brilliant Strike. I have to say, in the same field of Minerva was kind of nice, Ashley was kind of nice, but it didn't do that much for Genesis or for the archetypes. This is the first reveal or release of Genesis for us. Genesis did pretty okay at the start of the season. It was like, well, a lot of people picked it up, a lot of people played it, but within the week, a lot of people dropped it. So it did okay, but not a big dent in the meta. Ashley probably profited the most off of it, to be honest. it gave Ashley a second wind, but a lot of people, yeah. Zenith was amazing. True. Oh god, Zenith was amazing. Like, Zenith's the biggest thing out of the set, I think. Can one card carry a set that hard, though? Wow, that's true. Zenith coming out in that set. Zenith coming out in that set actually makes this a lot more difficult. The thing is, like, for me, meta changing is more or less like, you have to play around this archetype by playing a very specific way. And Zenith didn't really feel that way. It was more like, well, you hope they don't draw Zenith when you're on 5 sort of vibe, you know what I mean? Are we counting Immortal Asura Kaiser? No. We're counting English. We're counting English, sadly enough. So he's not gonna... It was dead on arrival, sadly enough, so I am only going off English release. Yeah, I still feel not a big dent. What I'll do, I'll put kinda meta, but I'll put it at the bottom of kinda meta. Or I could put it in front of... Yeah, I could put it here. Because the only card that became relevant out of the whole entire set was maybe Zenith. That's it. And he was a rank reward even, so it's like... You know, it's... Alright, so now we have Diva's Duet and Infinite Rebirth. Set 16 and 17 respectively. I would have to say... This became meta-defining because Pale Moon came on the map. People actually had to play around Pale Moon to beat it. This is an archetype where right now, even with Vanguard Zero Championships, due to the fact that it is not nerfed, it is sleeper one of the best decks in Vanguard Zero right now, until it gets a nerf. If not the best. And because of that, the release of Infinite Rebirth, even though it introduced Glendios and the whole Glendios archetype and Omega locking and stuff, sadly enough, Glendios didn't do that much. We kind of waited for Monarch Sanctuary Alfred, due to just wanting to have an answer to Link Joker. A lot of Infinite Rebirth and a couple of sets in between, like Diva's Duet and stuff, was just more or less like, yeah, just a little bit of unlock tools to deal with Link Joker a little bit within your archetype, and that's it. It wasn't really like, oh my god, it's the biggest set, you know, you gotta wait for it. This is sort of like just the in-between. Like, if you wanted to skip this set, honest to God, you would not be worse for it. That's kind of how I feel about this set. It's just kind of like, this unfortunately became the set everybody was kind of like, oh god, I gotta wait for this set to be over so then I can play Legion. It's kind of how we feel. kind of how we felt about this set. I would say, I want to say skippable, but I would say it did okay, but not a big dent. Alright, and this is my list. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys can agree on some points or understand where my point of view came from. So my point of view is, initial released, how much impact the card did in that format at that time. Whether or not the archetype was dead on arrival, or if the archetype made no waves whatsoever in tournaments and stuff. And for me, it is different for everybody else. I feel, to me, the most meta-defining archetypes that got released was during Banquet of Divas, which was Perfect Riser, Tsukiyomi. Those were, to me, at that time on release, holy moly, you need to play a specific way around this archetype or against this archetype, or you just lost. Like, hard. And Tsukiyomi is still like a pretty okay tournament deck. It's not as strong as it used to be, but Tom still shoots you in the face for 6 damage if he wants to. So yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, be awesome, stay awesome, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank y'all for tuning in and stopping on by. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see me live on twitch.tv/GG Mr. Rogers, you can tune into me there. Till next time.